Overcast, rainy, cloudy, cold afternoon at South Bend. Here's the whistle, and here's the boot by Lambert. It's a good one, all the way down to the 2-yard line. It's taken by Paulman back to the 10. Goes to the 15. He goes to the 20, and is finally brought down up around the neighborhood of the 22-yard line by Chuck Schlock, who is the defensive halfback for Notre Dame. And we'll check the quarterback for you, Bonifay or Williams, and they've got Williams in there to quarterback, and he's a surprise starter. He gives it off now to Bounds, the fullback, and he tries the middle of the Notre Dame line and does not gain any yardage whatsoever, as Norrie and McCoy are both in there, along with Kuchenberg, to make the tackle. So, Al, there is a little bit of a surprise with Jim Person starting at quarterback today. Person directing the team with 2 flankers and 2 setbacks again. Takes a long cadence count, gives it off this time to his halfback, Bounds, coming wide around the right side. He gets to about the 24, and there's a flag down on the play. John Gasser is the man who made the tackle for Notre Dame, but there was a flag down on the play and a discussion. And the preliminary indication, offside against Notre Dame. And so Georgia Tech will take it back and have it walked off against the Fighting Irish. 5 yards for offside. Out wide to the right now, they send Tim Woodall, and they split their halfback, Harkey, out wide to the left. And signals are being called by Person. He's got the pro set. And here's the give now to the fullback, trying the middle of that Notre Dame line, Kenny Bounds. And Bounds gets to about the 27-yard line. Eric Norrie is the man who made the tackle. So that'll make it 3rd down, and still about 5 yards to go for the Engineers of Georgia Tech from Atlanta, Georgia. 3rd down. A flag on the play. Illegal procedure against Georgia Tech has been declined by Notre Dame. Wide to the right goes Sias, who's the flanker back. And back goes the quarterback now. Person to throw. He throws one out in the left flat, and it's incomplete, intended for the fullback, Kenny Bounds. So that'll bring up a 4th down for Georgia Tech.
Well, here on a windy, cold afternoon, I think maybe the wind down on the field might have picked that ball up a little bit and got it just beyond the reach of the receiver. Jim Pearsons wanted to use a screen there. He had the lineman and the halfback out in position, but his pass was just a little bit too high.
Tommy Chapman back in kick formation. O'Brien and Gladieux are back for Notre Dame, and the kick is away, and it's hitting around on the 40-yard line and still rolling down to the 35, finally rolls to a stop on the 34-yard line of Notre Dame. Theismann calling the signals, the young sophomore quarterback, and he gives the ball off now to Gladieux, and Gladieux off right guard. Moves it to about the 36-yard line, and he's stopped over there by Bob Seaman, the left tackle, along with Bill Flowers, the linebacker of Georgia Tech. And they mark the ball just over the 36. Let's give him 2 picked up, make it 2nd down and 8 to go now for Notre Dame. In the I formation, Georgia Tech's in a 5-3 defense right now, and Theismann is going back to throw, cocks his arm, throws one, it's incomplete. And interference is called on the defensive back, Kennard, and Coley O'Brien had no chance to get near that one as Kennard just knocked him down.
Well, the surprising part about this was that interference was called after that pass had been batted away. But it was interference just the same. The receiver was there, and the rules say that you can't shove him, you can't push him, you just can't use those hands on the man who's going after the pass.
An I formation again, and the give is to Dushney, the fullback, and he cracks down to the 45-yard line of Georgia Tech. Getting 5 on the play, and the linebacker again, Bill Flowers, along with Shiver, the middle backer. So mark the ball on the 45, a gain on the play of 5. Notre Dame now with a flanker to the right. The pro set, the slot back is Gladieux, and here's the pitch back to Coley O'Brien. O'Brien is down to the 41. And Bill Flowers, the linebacker on the left side from Birmingham, Alabama, a sophomore, making the stop on O'Brien, so that makes it 3rd down and 1 to go now for Notre Dame. 3rd and 1. Seymour and Weingardner are the ends for the Irish. They've got a 9-man defensive line in there. The give is to Dushney. Faked it to him, and then there goes Theismann wide to the right. He throws, and it is caught by Seymour at the 25. And he faked me out on that play because I thought he had given the ball to Dushney going into the line. And Dushney made a dive over the top of the Georgia Tech line, but Theismann kept the ball, rolled out to the right, and hit Jim Seymour, who made a sensational catch on the 25-yard line. It's 1st down, Notre Dame.
Well, that was about as fine a deception as I've seen Notre Dame pull all year long. They sent the man diving over the pile, Theismann then rolled out. Now here's the first down play coming up from the 25.
And two flankers to the left, and back goes Theismann to throw again, and he throws to Seymour, and Seymour caught it out of bounds. They gained 15 yards on that last pass play, but that time Seymour grabbed it, but he got it out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 to go for Notre Dame. And they have the ball on the 25. The rain continues, but not very hard. And Dushney and Gladieux are the setbacks that Theismann calls, and he gives off to Gladieux. Gladieux's down to the 21 and tackled on the 21-yard line. The defensive halfback, Mike Wysong, and a flag is down. And here's a personal foul being called, and it's against Georgia Tech.
I think the Tech boys getting a little bit rough out there. Now, as it stands at the moment, they've got a first down. Notre Dame does. 1st and 10 on the Tech 11-yard line.
Here's the I formation now with the slot back, Gladieux, and Theismann on pitch back to Gladieux. He's down to the 5, he's down to the 2, and tackled on the 2-yard line, and brought down by the secondary of Georgia Tech. Down on about the 2 or 2.5, and Flowers and Wysong are the men who made the stop. And that ball is down on the 2, and they have whistled it back again. A flag is down again, and the penalty will be against Notre Dame. And Theismann now is going back to throw, looking downfield, and wide open down there is Gladieux, and he couldn't hang on to the ball. It hit him right in the hands on the goal line.
It's a cold, slippery afternoon here. We've had a fine pinpoint rain blowing in here all afternoon. Holding that football the way that this young fellow Joe Theismann throws it is difficult.
Notre Dame had the ball down to the 2, but 15 yards for holding. Moved them back to the 25, and here's Theismann going back to throw again. He's looking, he throws, and it's incomplete. Intended down there for Gladieux on the 10. And probably nobody feels worse than young Gladieux, because he had that ball on the goal line. He was all by himself and just didn't hang on to it. 11:22 to go in the first quarter, and the score: Notre Dame nothing and Georgia Tech nothing. They send O'Brien out to the left. Seymour goes to the right, and in the slot now is Gladieux. Back goes Theismann to throw again. He looks, he gets time, he rolls out to the right. Still looking. He's got to throw it now, and he completes it down on the 5-yard line. It's completed to Coley O'Brien, who slipped and fell at the 6. At the 6-yard line, Coley O'Brien made the reception, but he slipped, and that's where the ball will be marked down. They're moving the clock. It's 4th down. And let's see what happens here. With the ball down on the 6-yard line, it is 4th down and 5 yards to go, and Notre Dame has called timeout. Notre Dame will not kick. They're going to go for it. Theismann is back to throw. He throws. It is caught. It is caught, but out of bounds by Coley O'Brien, and Georgia Tech will take over. O'Brien made the reception, but he caught it out of bounds.
Well, Ben, that's one of the few times we've seen an Irish team this year move down there and get stymied, but I can think of one other time, that horrible afternoon up at East Lansing, when 4 times they went inside the 5-yard line.
One flanker out to the right, and person on to give this time to his halfback, Harkey, who tries left guard. He gets up to about the 9, getting 3 on the play. So make it 2nd down and 7 to go for Georgia Tech. In the bottom of the pile there is Mike McCoy from Erie, Pennsylvania, 270-pound junior tackle. And the right tackle, Eric Norrie. Person calling the signals. And he gives it off this time to his halfback again, trying the left side of the Notre Dame line, the right side of the Notre Dame line, following the blockers on the left side. That was Harkey again, Steve Harkey from Atlanta on the carry, and he's brought down about the 13-yard line. Now Olson is the man who made the tackle, the middle backer for Notre Dame. Here's the straight T formation. And the give again is to Harkey. And Harkey dives over the 15, gets to the 16, and just shy of the 17-yard line. He might have a first down. They might have to get the chain out here. Let's see what the officials do. And it's a first down for Georgia Tech, as we had called in the first place. First down and 10 to go, with the ball on the 17-yard line of Georgia Tech. The tight end is split a few yards to the left. And here is the give to Bounds, who tries the middle of the line. He comes up to about the 19-yard line. He might have made it to the 20. And is brought down right on the 20. And there again is McCoy on the tackle, along with Olson. And also Joe Freeberry, the linebacker on the right side. One flanker out wide to the right again. And here's Person on the keeper. And he gets about 2 yards. He ran off right guard, and Olson in on top of him to bring him down for Notre Dame. So they'll mark the ball on about the 22-yard line. The series originating on the 17. So that'll make it 3rd down and 5 to go now for Georgia Tech. Sias goes wide to the left. Woodall is flanked out to the right. And Person calling the signals. He's got 2 setbacks, and he's going back to throw. He looks, he throws, a swing pass out on the right flat. It's completed out there to Bounds, and Bounds, the fullback, gets to the 26-yard line, and there a flag goes down. A flag is down. He threw a little safety valve pass out on the right flat. We've got 8 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the first quarter, and there's no score. A personal foul, and it is against Notre Dame, and that means 15 yards.
Well, that looked like an awfully clean tackle that Kelly made there when he came up and threw it. The flag went down almost immediately, though, so the officials down there are taking 15 big yards.
They've got the 2 flankers again, and back goes Person to throw. He's looking. He throws the home run ball deep, and look out. This one is intercepted by Notre Dame down on the 24-yard line. It's Don Reed who intercepted the ball. And Syeth was the intended receiver, and it was picked off by Don Reed. That was a high floating pass, and so it'll be first down and 10 to go for Notre Dame from their own 24.
Well, that ball was a high one. He had good trajectory when he got it off, but once it got up into the air, I think the winds picked it up there, and it became a very wobbly thing, and it was what we call a floating duck up there. Anybody could pick it off.
Seymour and O'Brien are flanked to the right, first and 10 from the Notre Dame 24, the I formation. And the give now is to Dushney. And Dushney cracks straight up to the 29-yard line, getting about 5 on the play. So it'll be second down and 5 to go now for Notre Dame. Then there's Schreiber, the middle backer, and Flowers and Seaman making the stop. Also Gardner for Georgia Tech. And this time they split Dushney out to the left in the slot there. And the 2 setbacks are O'Brien and Gladieux. And Theismann on a give now to Gladieux. And Gladieux moves to the 33, going straight ahead. In there making the tackle was Bob Seaman, the big tackle, along with Bill Flowers, the linebacker of Georgia Tech. And let's see where they mark it. They'll put it on the 32-yard line. The series originated on the 24, so that's third down and 2 to go. And Weingardner, the tight end, is on the left side. They line up now in the I formation with no flankers. Everybody's in tight. And the give now is to Gladieux, and Gladieux has a first down. He was hit at the 35 and knocked forward to the 37-yard line. And the tackle made by Bill Flowers again from Birmingham, Alabama. They'll mark it on the 37, where it'll be first and 10 to go for Notre Dame from their own 37-yard line. 6 minutes, 45 seconds of playing time remaining in the first quarter. Gladieux flanked out to the right, outside Seymour, the All-American end of Notre Dame. The setbacks are Dushney and Coley O'Brien. And here's Theismann on the keeper, coming around the left side, cutting back, and he's going to be hit, dropped for a loss. Back on about the 36-yard line, and it was Gardner, number 73 from Atlanta, 6'1", 226-pound right tackle who stopped him.
Well, that's one play that you won't see run very often here at Notre Dame. That was a blown signal.
So it will be second down and 11 yards to go now for Notre Dame. The I formation with 2 flankers to the right. And back goes Theismann, gives it off this time to his halfback O'Brien at the 40, the 45. He's at the 50. He still spins on down to the 46-yard line before he's brought down by Billy Kennard. And that was Coley O'Brien who got a block in the middle of that line and moved that ball to the 46-yard line of Georgia Tech, where it'll be first down and 10 to go for Notre Dame. The Irish go back in the huddle again. 18 yards gained on the play. So now Notre Dame comes out of the huddle. They send Seymour as the only flanker out to the left. They're in the pro set now with the slot back. Signals are being called by Joe Theismann, and Theismann on a pitch back to his fullback, Dushney. He's following Theismann to the 40, to the 35. He's down to the 30. He's at the 25. He's down to the 20. He's still on his feet. He's down to the 15-yard line, and he's finally brought down by Wysong as he reaches the 14-yard line. That was Dushney, and you can give Joe Theismann a tremendous amount of credit for a great block for Dushney.
Yes, you can. And Mike Oriod, the center, is one of the men that give him about 10 yards more. Had Oriod brought his man down completely, it would have been all the way. And Oriod's block did set him up, give him 10 yards more. 31 yards on that play, Van.
Theismann breaks him out of it. He's got a flanker, Seymour, wide to the right. And he's coming back and pitching the ball back to O'Brien. O'Brien is down to the 10. He's down to the 5. And he's hit with a jarring tackle as he reaches the 3 or 3.5-yard line. And that was Bill Kennard who made the tackle for Georgia Tech down on the 4-yard line. He got mighty, mighty close down there to a first down. He got awfully close. First down, the official indicates now. First down and goal to go. And that's 7 first downs for the University of Notre Dame. And here's the I formation again with Theismann calling the signals. He gives to Dushney. Dushney is down. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Dushney, the fullback. They move 76 yards and 8 plays for the score. Now let's go down to the sidelines and see how Bill saw it.
Well, it's wet and it's cold, but pretty happy right now is Coley O'Brien. The Weasley band right now is the star of the game, and I talked to him Monday when he received the Game Ball Award after the contest last week. He was ever so happy, and he is right now, too. Back to you.
Now we'll have the try for a point, and Scott Hempel will attempt. Joe Theismann will hold. The ball is booted. The kick is up. Kick is good. And the score now is Notre Dame 7, Georgia Tech nothing. And now Lambert will kick off. Very, very dark. The skies are really heavy here today. And the ball is all the way down to the 2-yard line. It's taken by Paulman. He's back to the 5. He goes to the 10, comes on to the 15, gets a block to the 20. He's to the 24 or 5 and is knocked out of bounds right there. And knocking him out of bounds was Dennis Killany. Person is the quarterback. He's back to throw. Throws one to Saya right on his hands and incomplete. There was a case where John Sias ran with the ball before he had it in his hands, really. So it goes back to the 24, where it'll be 2nd down and 10 to go for Georgia Tech. Signals are being called now by Jim Person, surprise starter. He's back to throw, cocks his arm, throws one to Sias. He's got it, and he's tackled and out of bounds on about the 30-yard line. And making the stop there for Notre Dame was number 15, Jay Standring. And they will mark the ball on the 32-yard line, which will leave them 2 yards short of a first down with 3rd down coming up.
Incidentally, Van, I understand Henretti is downstairs in the press box in a wheelchair after the operation.
Well, he's a great college quarterback, and they feel he'll be a good pro. Back goes the quarterback again, and he hits Cy again at the 40, and he's to the 43-yard line, and he has a first down. Tackle made again by Standring, and that's the 3rd first down. Let's go to the sidelines and Bill.
And John Gasser, the defensive halfback on that side, came limping off the field after that kickoff to Georgia Tech. He's been replaced by Jay Standring, and they are working on Jay right now. Back up to you.
First down and 10 to go for Georgia Tech. And the wreck now with 2 flankers. They've got Woodring to the left, Saya to the right, and back goes Person to throw again, and he is hit at the 50, and interference is called. He was hit, and interference is called on Standring. So it'll be ruled a complete pass and the first down for Georgia Tech.
On the 48-yard line.
Purdue was leading Michigan State by a score of 3-0. They're in the first quarter, and that's the score we have. And now it is Army leading Pitt 6-0. Now we're ready to go. And back goes Person to throw. He's looking. He stays in the pocket. He's going to be caught. Brought down from behind, back on the 42. And Chick Lauk is the man who came in there to get him. Indiana leading Minnesota 6-0. Army leading Pittsburgh 6-0. Purdue leading Michigan State 3-0, and that's the halftime score now. And there it is. They were giving them to us just backwards, weren't they, Buck? It's Syracuse 17, Navy nothing. Penn State 34, Maryland nothing. Those are halftime scores. Tennessee 14, Mississippi nothing. North Carolina State, Florida State 7-0. Florida State leading.
Gaulish seniors. This is their last home game at Notre Dame Stadium.
It's 2nd down to about 19, and Georgia Tech took too much time to get the play underway, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty against Tech for delay of the game. Person calling the signals from the 37. He's going back to throw. The rush is on. He throws the pass. It's completed at the 34-yard line and completed to his fullback, Kenny Bounds, and Bounds is finally knocked out of bounds on the 44-yard line, and that's where this series of downs originated, on the 44-yard line. So now let's mark it now as a 3rd down coming up for Georgia Tech, and they're making a change now as Paulman comes in at the split end and Tim Woodall goes out. 3rd down, about 18, and back goes Person. He throws. It's completed. Completed at the 48-yard line to the tight end out there, Joel Stevenson. And Stevenson is tackled in the Notre Dame secondary, but he reached the 42.5-yard line.
Van Stevenson is the favorite target. He's caught 35 passes so far this year for 390 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Chapman is back in kick formation for Georgia Tech with a 4th and 9 situation. O'Brien and Gladieux are deep for Notre Dame. And here's the boot, and it's a beauty. A high kick, a tremendous kick, all the way down to the end zone. It's 47 yards. First down and 10, O'Brien. Flanked out to the left. Seymour goes to the right. 2 setbacks now for Notre Dame, and here's the quarterback sneak as Theismann moving up to the 25-yard line. And look at the power this little fellow's got. He only weighs about 163 pounds, soaking wet, and he'll be soaking wet here in another 10 minutes at Notre Dame Stadium. The ball is on about the 25.5. Let's call it 2nd down and 5 for Notre Dame. The 2 flankers now. O'Brien to the left, Seymour to the right, and Theismann giving it off this time to his fullback Dushney. And he gets to the 31, first down, Notre Dame, and here's Bill.
Down on the sidelines, I've been looking at John Gasser. He has an ice pack taped to his foot. He twisted his foot very badly on that tackle on the kickoff, and he may not be back this afternoon.
They send O'Brien out to the left. Jim Seymour's to the right. Dushney and Gladieux are the setbacks. And Theismann on a give now to Dushney. Dushney gets a couple of yards, and he's gang tackled by Georgia Tech and shoved all the way back to 30. Seaman and Gardner and Mike Glad and Steve Foster and Flowers were all in there to bring him down on the 32-yard line. So it'll be a gain on the play of about 2 yards and make it 2nd down and 8 to go. Wide to left now is Coley O'Brien with Seymour going out to the right. The I formation. And Theismann is going back now, and he hands the ball off to Gladieux, and Gladieux goes to the 37, and Gardner makes the tackle there on the 37-yard line. And a flag is down. Here's Al.
We've got the flag down at about the 38-yard line. We've got yardage coming up 15 against Georgia Tech. They're tripping it off right now. There's a lot of people are making up their All-American football teams right now, and certainly when you make one up, you can't overlook such great stars as Terry Hanratty.
A 6-3 defense, a 15-yard penalty gives Notre Dame the 1st down on the 47. Here's Theismann running with the ball, and he's at the 45 and is finally bumped out of bounds on 43. And he is a real jumping jack out there in that backfield. And Shiver is the man who made the tackle. That penalty was a personal foul against Georgia Tech that moved the ball to the Georgia Tech 47-yard line, and the ball right now is on the Georgia Tech 43-yard line, which means 2nd down and 6 yards to go for Notre Dame. O'Brien and Dushney the setbacks. And Theismann calling the signals, pitches it back to O'Brien. He's got a block and goes to the 40, to the 39, is hit there by Gardner. On the 39-yard line, he's brought down. And so that'll make it 3rd down now, coming up for Notre Dame. The Irish lead 7-0 here in this first quarter. Ball right on the Georgia Tech 39-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. They have a 5-3 defense. They're moving the linebackers in tight, where it's almost a 7-man defensive line right now. The I formation for Notre Dame, and Theismann on the quarterback sneak. And Theismann gets to the 37. He may have a 1st down since this series originated on the 47. He is brought down on the 37 by the middle of the line. Seaman and Gardner the tackles. 1st down Notre Dame on the 37-yard line of Georgia Tech. That's the end of the first quarter with a score Notre Dame 7, Georgia Tech nothing. With the I formation, top of the I is Gladieux, and the give now is to Dushney, and he tries the middle, gets down to the 34-yard line of Georgia Tech, and is stacked up right there. And then they're making the tackle again with Flowers, along with Seaman, and the defensive end Glad over on the right side. The ball is just over the 35. Let's call it the 34. Give him 3. Make it 2nd down and 7. Gladieu's flanked out to the right. Seymour split out to the left. And here's Theismann on the pitch out to his halfback. It's fumbled, and it's recovered by Georgia Tech. Coley O'Brien fumbled the ball, and Georgia Tech recovered the ball, and Bill Flowers is the man who recovered it. Number 53, the linebacker from Birmingham, Alabama, a sophomore, recovered it. And here's a real surprise. Wisconsin 9, Michigan 7 at the half. They haven't won a conference game in a couple of years. Michigan is the 4th-ranked team in the nation. The ball on the 33-yard line. He came up with that fumble that time. And here's the give now to Bounds, the fullback. And he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's just about it. He was stopped in there by the middle of that Notre Dame line again, with Olson, the linebacker, coming up, along with Eric Norrie to make the tackle. Sias is split out to the left, and flanked wide to the right now. They send the halfback, Chapman. Person is calling the signals, the quarterback. And Person is back to throw, throws to Sias. He's got it on the 38-yard line and falls to the turf immediately. And there to cover was Chuck Schlock from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right on the 38-yard line. So that'll make it now 3rd down and 5 to go. Chapman goes out, and coming back in is Tim Woodall. So mark the ball on the 33. And Person is 6 out of 9 for 47 yards so far in this ball game. And the rain in the face here in our booth now at South Bend. And here is Person on a handoff to his halfback, trying the left side, gets across the 42-yard line and is brought down there. Making the tackle was Lauk, and so mark the ball on the 41.5-yard line. So that'll make it 4th down and just about a yard to go. Chapman is going back in kick formation. Don Reed is going back in the single safety now for Notre Dame. Here's the boot, and another good kick. Fair catch is called for by Reed. Down around the neighborhood of the 17 or 18-yard line. We'll wait for the officials to mark it. They'll place it on the 18, a 40-yard kick. First and 10. They mark it on the 17-yard line. Here's Theismann going back. He's looking. He throws the home run ball to Seymour, and he can't hang on the 41-yard line. In there defensively was Mike Wysong, and doing a good job for Georgia Tech to cover Seymour.
That was a great save there. Jim Seymour was reaching out for it. You could just see him locking his hands onto it, and then the ball was batted loose. And, of course, that did save the home run, because this one was to Seymour behind everybody else.
O'Brien is outside Seymour to the left. The give now is to the halfback, Gladieux. Gladieux fighting his way forward, comes up to the 25-yard line. And there he's hit by the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Right on the 25-yard line, and Mike Glad is the man who made the tackle on Gladieux. So there's a play on words. The ball at the 25-yard line of Notre Dame. It belongs to Notre Dame. It's third down, 3 to go. 11:51 to play in the first half. Notre Dame leading 7-0. Seymour is to the right side and not very far. The give now is to Gladieux, and he knifes right up the middle. Comes up to about the 29, where he'll have a first down for Notre Dame. The tackle was made by Flowers and Shiver and Gardner, and that's 12 first downs for Notre Dame. They've been averaging almost 30 yards a first game here, first down.
30 first downs a game, and that's remarkable.
Seymour to the right. O'Brien to the left. Theismann is back. He's being rushed. He gets a block. He throws. Seymour has got it at the 45, and he's brought down on the 49-yard line. Jim Seymour just finally got away from the man who was covering him, Wysong, who did such a good job earlier. And Seymour, who's about 6'5", just reached up and plucked it out of the O-zone. Let's call it the 50-yard line and make it first down and 10 to go. First and 10 now for Notre Dame, and they have the ball on the 50-yard line. Weingardner, the tight end on the right side of the slot there to the left, is Jim Seymour. And back goes Theismann. Hands it off this time to Gladieux at the 45, the 40. He's down to the 35. He stays on his fight. He goes down, fights his way to the 33. Wysong made the tackle. And they rule his knee, hit the ground right on the 34-yard line. So a gain of 16 yards on the play, and it'll be first down and 10 to go. First and 10 to go now for Notre Dame. Auburn 3, Georgia nothing in the first period. There's a big ball game. And Wisconsin leading Michigan 9-7. We gave you that one. A first down for Notre Dame on the 34-yard line. And Theismann on the draw play to Coley O'Brien. He's down to the 30. He goes to the 25. He's down to the 24. And he's tackled by Kennard on the 24-yard line.
Van, I've just been checking here very quickly on Bobby Gladieux. He's about 16 or 17 yards away from 1,000 yards on the season. Going into this ball game, he had gained 933 yards on passing and running. He's about 17 yards away from 1,000-yard season, and that is the indication of a great football player.
Here's the tight I formation now, and the give is to Dushney with a second down and 1, and he's got a first down to the 23-yard line of Georgia Tech. First and 10. Minnesota is leading Indiana 13-6. Now O'Brien is flanked to the left. Jim Seymour is split out to the right. Gladieux and Dushney, the setbacks, and it is Gladieux makes a dive over the 20, goes to the 19-yard line. He got about 4 on the play. It'll be second down coming up. And about, let's call it 7 to go now for Notre Dame. Making the tackle in there, big number 73 was Gardner. Gladieux and Seymour flanked out to the right. The I formation with Theismann calling the signals. Weingardner on the left side. And Theismann on the keeper. He's got some blocks. He's at the 15. He's down to the 10. He's finally out of bounds. Down on the 8-yard line, and he got some blocking on that one. First down and goal to go. And Dushney is the man who primarily cleared the way for him.
With about 9 minutes of playing time remaining here in the second period at South Bend, the rain is really coming down now. We've got not just a pinpoint rain before, but a strong blowing rain. The umbrellas are up all over.
First down and goal to go on the 9-yard line of Georgia Tech. Theismann on a give to Dushney. He's down to the 6-yard line. And Shiver makes the tackle there for Georgia Tech. Down on the 6-yard line, a gain of 2. It'll be second down and 6 yards to go now for Notre Dame. The Irish go back in the huddle again. 8 minutes, 50 seconds, the clock moving. Notre Dame leading Georgia Tech by a score of 7-0. Here's the T formation now with one flanker and Theismann on the keeper. And he's straight ahead to about the 3-yard line, and Bill Flowers makes the tackle there for Georgia Tech. Down on the 3, where it'll be third down. And still about 3 yards to go for Notre Dame with a third down coming up. Clock moving, 8 minutes, 20 seconds of playing time remaining. Third down. Notre Dame trying to punch over another against the tough Georgia Tech team, the only team to beat Auburn. Here's the T formation again with one flanker, Seymour, out wide to the left. And Theismann on the give to Gladieux. He scores for Notre Dame. Gladieux, 83 yards in 10 plays. Notre Dame leads by a score of 13-0. And Gladieux had a hole there. Tuck, Oriard, McKinley, Riley, Coons, all doing a good job up front blocking. Joe Theismann will hold. Theismann kneeling on the 10-yard line. The ball is spotted. The kick is up. The kick is good. And the score is Notre Dame 14, Georgia Tech nothing. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment. Steve Lambert will kick off now for Notre Dame. There's the kick by Lambert, and the short one. It's coming down on the 19-yard line. Georgia Tech runs it back here to the 25, to the 28, 30, and taking it back there is Lloyd Snow. Notre Dame is in a 5-2, now 5-3 defense. Person on the give this time to Harkey, and Harkey cuts in over left guard, gets it back to the 29 on the right side of that Notre Dame line, in on top of him. And that was Freeberry leading the defensive charge again. Second down, 11 yards to go. Georgia Tech sends Woodall out wide to the left. He's the only flanker, the T formation. And Person calling the signals. Person throws quick over the middle. There's tight end, incomplete at the 39-yard line. He had it, just couldn't hang on to it. That was the tight end, Joel Stevenson, who is 6'2", and he just couldn't hang on to it. Georgia Tech in 11 carries have 12 yards rushing today. Back goes Person to throw. He throws one. It is caught at the 32-yard line. And the tackle is made immediately on Harkey on the 32-yard line. And making the tackle for Notre Dame was Larry Schumacher. So that'll bring up a fourth down. Chapman goes back for Georgia Tech, and Gladieux and Coley O'Brien are back in the safety spots. The snap back to Chapman, and he gets his kick away, and this fella's quite a kicker. Fair catch is called for on the 34-yard line by Gladieux. So make it first down and 10 to go now for Notre Dame from their own 34. Theismann calling the signals. He's got Dushney as a setback along with Gladieux, and he pitches to Gladieux. Gladieux is at the 40, fumbles the ball, and let's see who got it. Georgia Tech recovered it. Well, O'Brien and Gladieux both have fumbled that slippery ball today, and Georgia Tech recovered the ball, and that was Joe Hardwick, the linebacker on the right side, who picked that one off. And so now the Rambling Wreck with a break. They have the ball on the Notre Dame 42-yard line, and they have it first down and 10 to go after recovery of the fumble. One flanker out wide to the right. Person back to throw. Throws out here to side. The little flanker back on the left side in the flat. He's tackled on the 36-yard line. A gain on the play of about, let's check and see. He'll come up when they mark it in on the 36. Person is 8 out of 12 for 58 yards, which isn't bad with that wet football out here today. He only takes about one step back, stays in the pocket, fires the quick ones. Notre Dame with a 5-man defensive line. Person on a give this time to Bounds, his fullback. He tries to go around the right side, and a flag is down. He was hit in there, hit by Norrie first, and then McCoy, but a flag is down, and a discussion on the play, and the penalty will be against Notre Dame, and that rain is really pouring now at South Bend.
This is going to be the big factor, I think, in the football game. It has been already. We've seen Notre Dame do the unusual and fumble away the football twice. Incidentally, in penalties right now, the Irish have 58 yards in penalties. 43 yards have been assessed against Georgia Tech.
And here's Person rolling out to the right this time, looking. He cocks his arm. He fires one. It's a sideline pass. It's incomplete down around the neighborhood of the 10-yard line, and it was intended for Chapman, the flanker. So they'll bring it back again. Place it down on the 22-yard line. You know, maybe somebody across the nation could send me a ballpoint pen that will write when it's cold and wet and rainy. 14-0, Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame. And back goes Person to throw again. And he throws one out here that's completed at the 18-yard line. And completed to Bounds. You notice we have to wait for a moment. These jerseys are getting a little muddy now. And down on the 18-yard line, where it will be third down and about 5 yards to go. Back goes Person to throw again. Throws a quick one over the middle. It's bounced around in the air, and it's incomplete. Broken up there by Notre Dame's Don Reed. Stevenson was the intended receiver, the tight end. We have 5 minutes of playing time remaining. In the first half, Notre Dame leading Georgia Tech 14-0. It is fourth down and 5 yards to go now for the Rambling Wreck from Georgia Tech. Fourth down, and he gives it to his fullback, Bounds. And Bounds is hit as he reaches about the 17-yard line, and so Georgia Tech is stopped by the Notre Dame defense, and the Irish will take over. Joe Theismann trying the ball on the keeper play, and he is tackled for a 2-yard loss. They'll mark the ball back on the 15-yard line, the series originating on the 17-yard line of Notre Dame. And Glad making the tackle, and a Georgia Tech man was shaken up on the play. Theismann on the keeper, rolling out to the right with it, and he's up to the 14-yard line with it, and Van Dora makes the tackle. The going is a little tough right now on the gridiron as the rain is really pouring, and that field is beginning to get slippery. And 4 minutes of playing time remaining here in the first half. They send Seymour and Coley O'Brien out wide to the left. Theismann, the quarterback, and he's got Dushney as one of his setbacks, the fullbacks. And he gives off on the draw to Gladieux, and Gladieux gets to about the 18, and Bill Flowers makes the tackle. Flowers brings him down, and he's played a fine defensive ball game, and it's 4th down coming up, and for the first time today, Jim DeArietta, the kicker, is coming in for Notre Dame. DeArietta standing back on the 5-yard line, and he left foots that ball, coming down to about the 47-yard line, and it's taken there by Georgia Tech's Fate, Joe Fate, and Fate gets it back to the 45-yard line of Notre Dame. Notre Dame with a 5-6-man defensive line. Person is going back to throw. He's being rushed out there. He runs out of the pocket. Finally, he's brought down back on the 45-yard line by Chick Lauck, the defensive end, and McCoy coming in there to make the tackle. So the ball is placed on the 45-yard line where it'll be 2nd down coming up.
Van, I mentioned before the three of the front 4 were seniors and playing their final game here at home. There's also 2 of the linebackers that are seniors, Olson and Joe Freeberry.
Person calling the signals. He's going back to throw again. The rush is on. He throws over the middle. It's completed at the 45-yard line, down to the 50, and on down to the 45 goes Steve Harkey, number 41 from Atlanta, with the ball. So mark the ball on the 45-yard line. The series originated on the 47. So that will make it now 3rd down and 8 yards to go for Georgia Tech. Now Sias out wide to the right, and Tim Woodall is deployed out wide to the left. Notre Dame moves up 6 men up front. Back goes Person to throw. Stays in the pocket. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. That stops the clock. Chapman is back in kick formation. And dropping back there for Notre Dame is Reed. And a low pass from center, but Chapman gets it away and boots it high and deep. Reed just lets it go, and Georgia Tech finally stops the ball down inside the 5-yard line. That was Harkey, who got down the field in a hurry and stopped the ball down around the neighborhood of the 3-yard line. There's a try into the middle of the line. It gets possibly 5 yards on the part of Theismann on that quarterback sneak. Seymour's out wide to the right. It's the 2nd down coming up here, and about 5 to go. Theismann on the keeper again, is up over the 10, goes to about the 11-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines and Bill.
Man, I want to tell you that Notre Dame band director Bob O'Brien has just passed by to tell me there will be no band performance on the field this afternoon. There will be a short serenade after the game.
All right, Bill, it's 3rd down and about 2 to go. Theismann calling the signals, and Theismann on to give this time to Gladieux it is, and Gladieux is stopped at the 14-yard line. He should have a 1st down for Notre Dame, and Van Dora, the junior from Brunswick, Georgia, is the man who made the tackle, and I believe for the first time today they're going to bring the chain out. So there's a timeout on the field with the score, Notre Dame 14, Georgia Tech nothing.
State Farm is all you need to know about insurance.
Theismann on the carry, and there's a flag on the play, and he is stopped as he got up to about the 16. Notre Dame picked up a 1st down. Illegal procedure against Notre Dame, and let's see if Georgia Tech elects to have it walked off as Theismann brought the ball up to about the 17-yard line from the 14, so he got 3 yards on the play, and the big discussion goes on while the rain gets harder now at South Bend, if that's possible. Here's the walk-off, illegal procedure against Notre Dame, and here is the keeper again as Theismann, more or less running out the clock here. They're ticking off 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's the gun. That's the end of the first half with the score, Notre Dame 14, Georgia Tech nothing. Blow the whistle, which will signal the start of the 2nd half. And here's the kick. And a good end-over-end kick to Paulman on the 4. And a discussion on the play, and the whistle blows it dead. So they're going to bring it right back again. And he'll kick over again. Evidently, Lambert kicked the ball before he got the signal from the official.
Van, I'm not sure, but I think maybe the clocker down there did not get his clock started.
Here's the boot. Coming down to Wallace this time at the 6. He's back to the 10. Goes to the 15. Comes on up to the 20. And is to the 27-yard line and is brought down there. One flanker. They're in the T formation with a balanced line. And the give now is to Harkey, Steve Harkey, the running back from Atlanta, 6 foot 200-pound sophomore. And Harkey moves the ball up to about the 29-yard line, getting a couple of yards on the play. Sias is split out wide to the right. And set out a few yards to the left is Tim Woodall. Person is back to throw. He's running out of trouble, but now he gets into trouble in a hurry. And he is brought down by Kuchenberg and dropped for a loss back inside the 25, but there's a flag down on the play. A flag down. They had him, and out of the ball game now goes number 51, John Collins of Thomasville, Georgia. He has been ejected.
Well, I will say this, that Bob Olson, the inside linebacker and the junior co-captain of the Notre Dame football team.
Eric Norrie is also out of the ball game.
Well, what I was going to say was that Olson put his arms around Collins and tried to stop the whole thing before it started.
That eliminated 2 tackles there, a guard, there's John Collins, and Norrie were talking about the weather. Here's a pass thrown over the middle. It's completed out there to Bounds, and Bounds at the 35, goes to the 40, comes on up to the 41-yard line, and the tackle is made there by Jay Standard. Up on the 42-yard line, so it'll be a first down now for Georgia Tech. Bounds, the fullback, taking the reception from Person. Now Chapman is coming in, replacing Woodall at the flanker for Georgia Tech. Sias is split out wide to the left, and Chapman is flanked to the right. Harkey and Bounds are the setbacks, as Person is the quarterback for Georgia Tech. And back he goes to throw, staying in the pocket. Kuchenberg in on top of him, but he gets rid of the ball, complete the 40 to Bounds, and Bounds is hit at the 46. Now let's go back to Bill Etherton and find out what happened in the exchange.
Well, evidently, Van, in the extracurricular activity, Eric Norrie was the second guy who did it, and he was the one who was noticed, but the other officials had been watching the whole thing develop, and they both were eliminated from the game. Back to you.
Sias flanked out wide to the left, and the give is to Harkey. Harkey in over left guard. He's hit there by McCoy. Also in on the tackle there for Notre Dame was Pat Mudrin, who just went in there in place of Norrie. Chapman is flanked to the right. Sias is split out to the left. The 2 setbacks again are Bounds and Harkey for Georgia Tech, and Person is going back to throw, and he throws over the middle. It's incomplete and broken up in there by Schumacher, number 42, and Kelly, number 42, Schumacher, number 24, and marked the ball on the 46-yard line. Harkey was the intended receiver. And Chapman in 5 kicks in the first half averaged 40 yards. High pass from center. It's over his head. He's being chased by Notre Dame. He's going to try to run with the ball. He's going to be brought down back on the 16-yard line. And Olson went charging down there along with Freeberry, and they made sure he didn't go anywhere. So let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Notre Dame with the ball, first down and 10 on the 16-yard line of Georgia Tech, so that's a break for Notre Dame. And the give now is to Coley O'Brien. Coley is cutting back over his own left guard, and he's across the 15 down to about the 14-yard line, and over the 14, possibly to the 13 and a half. O'Brien in 7 carries has gained 52 yards today. Theismann calling the signals, and he gives it off now to Gladieux, and Gladieux's hit it to 12. Dropped on the 12-yard line. In there, Gardner making the tackle along with Mike Glad, and so place the ball on the 12. It will be 3rd down and 6 yards to go for Notre Dame, trying to take advantage of a break on a high pass from center over the kicker's head. It's the I formation with 2 flankers to the right. Seymour out to the right, and here's Theismann looking, throwing, and it is caught down on the 5-yard line, and there was a case where the defensive back tipped the ball. He tipped the ball, and Gladieux grabbed the ball on the 5 on a deflected pass.
Van, it was the middle linebacker, Buck Shiver of Americus, Georgia, the sophomore, who hit the ball, actually tipped it with his hands. It went right on through his hands, and it went right into the hands of the receiver.
So it's first down and goal to go on the 4-yard line now of Georgia Tech. Theismann calling the signals. Theismann on to give to Dushney. Dushney's down to the 2. He's piled up on the 2, possibly the 1. And stacked up there by Seaman and Gardner and Flowers and Shiver of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. When they unpile, we'll see where he moved it to. Let's call it the 2-yard line. Make it 2nd down and goal to go. And the give is to Dushney. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Dushney scores, and it's Notre Dame 20 and Georgia Tech nothing. They moved 16 yards in 5 plays with 10:28 to go in the 3rd quarter, and Scott Hempel is in to attempt the extra point. Hotsappel, who's a center, and he will center on the kick here. Joe Theismann will hold on the 10. It's placed down. The kick is up. The kick is no good. So the score is Notre Dame 20, Georgia Tech nothing. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment. Here's the boot now. And waiting for it down on the 10-yard line is Wallace. And he brings it back to the 30, to the 32, and is tackled right there by Notre Dame. They gained, actually, net only 5 yards rushing in that first half. And here's the give to Harkey. Harkey is hit as he reaches the 35, getting 2 yards on the play. Olson made the tackle for Notre Dame on the 35. In the statistics in that first half, the yardage rushing was something to really unbelievable. 200 for Notre Dame and 5 for Georgia Tech. And here's Person on the keeper, and it's a little slippery out there as he cuts upfield to the 39-yard line. And Wright, or rather Kelly, in there along with Freeberry, making the tackle for Notre Dame and getting up from the bottom of the pile. Number 77, McCoy. Sias is flanked out wide to the right. Woodall to the left. Person is back to throw. He throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. Incomplete on the 48-yard line of Notre Dame, intended for bounds and broken up there by Notre Dame. Olson was dropping back, along with the other defensive back, Jay Standring, on the left side. And now Gladieux and Coley O'Brien come in, and Reed is coming out of there, along with Schlock. Chapman waiting back on the 25, gets a perfect pass from center and gets his kick away, and he booms it deep. Fair catch is called for by O'Brien down on the 16-yard line. A fine kick on the part of Chapman. That kick of 46 yards. The I formation, and Theismann is going back to throw. He looks, he throws deep, and it is intercepted by Georgia Tech at the 50-yard line. And back to the 45 now. Going Georgia Tech with the football, number 34. It's Kennard, and Kennard is down at the 35. He's at the 30. He's down to the 26-yard line. He is knocked out of bounds by Notre Dame. And Gladieux is the man who finally knocked him out of bounds. So there's a break now for Georgia Tech, but there's a flag down. Might be a clip.
Van, I thought there was a clip back up at the 45-yard line, but this was a clean block. I picked it up a little late, then caught it and realized what had happened. But now here's 15 yards against Tech. They were charged with clipping, 15 yards from the point of the infraction. It brings it all the way back from the Notre Dame 26-yard line. It puts it on the Tech 45-yard line, and that's a different story.
First down and 10 for Georgia Tech. They send Woodall out wide to the right, and Sias flanked out to the left. The two setbacks are Harkey and Bounds. Person is the quarterback, and he gives it off to his fullback Bounds, and Bounds gets 2 yards. Moving forward to the 47-yard line, and McCoy and Olson make the tackle for Notre Dame. Bill, what would you say the condition is of the field right now?
I was talking a moment ago to Jim Seymour, Van. I asked him that same question. He said it is very bad. It is as poor now as he has ever played on here in his career at Notre Dame.
And Sias is flanked out wide to the right. Person calling the signals again. And he throws over the middle, incomplete. Olson, the linebacker, was dropping back to cover Stevenson on the play, but the pass was thrown, and the quarterback Person was hit just as he delivered the ball.
Van, now Mike McCoy put a big rush on there.
27-9, Michigan now leading Wisconsin. Person throws, and this one is incomplete on the 49-yard line as two Notre Dame men. Olson and Freeberry were covering on the play, and it was intended for Bounds, the fullback, and it's incomplete. 8 minutes, 3 seconds of playing time remaining. Third, fourth down coming up now for Georgia Tech, and in comes Gladieux. Fourth down and 8 yards. And Gladieux and O'Brien come in, and Chapman is in there to do the kicking. Bad conditions out there with a very wet field and in many cases a wet football, but he's still kicking well. Gets the perfect pass from center, and it was almost blocked that time, but he gets it away. The fair catch is called for down on the 16.
College football's #1 team, Southern California, and their great running back, O.J. Simpson. Be sure to join us on Saturday, November 30th, when Mutual Sports brings you the game of the day, Notre Dame versus Southern Cal.
Dushney carried and gained a yard. And now, here's a fumble. Theismann fumbled the ball on the 15-yard line. It has been covered by Georgia Tech. And covering the ball was Mike Glad on the 15-yard line. Joe Theismann on the quarterback keeper fumbled the ball. Woodall is flanked out to the left. Sias flanked to the right. And the quarterback now is Williams. And here's the give to Harkey, and Harkey is brought down back on the 23-yard line. Notre Dame, Bob Olson coming in there with Tim Wright, and they bring him down for a loss back on the 23-yard line. He lost 8 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 18 to go.
Olson was blitzing on that. He did a great job there. Tim Kelly was up to help him.
Jack Williams is the quarterback now. You can recognize him easily. He has a clean uniform on. The ball back on the 24, and the give now is to the halfback Barr, Bobby Barr, and Barr's trying to turn the corner. He's down to the 20. Tackled on the 20-yard line and brought down right there, and Olson again is in on the tackle. Coming up from the secondary, the defensive halfback over on the right side. And Freeberry also in on the tackle, so mark it on the 20. At the half, Oklahoma 7, Missouri 6. Third period, Michigan 27, Wisconsin 9. Georgia Tech has 5 yards rushing and 22 carries today. Back goes Williams. He looks. The ball slipped out of his hands. It's covered by Notre Dame. It was covered by Pat Mudrin of Notre Dame. He cocked his arm to throw. Chick Lauk was also in on the recovery of the fumble. And Pat Mudrin, so mark the ball on the 27-yard line and make it first down and 10 to go for Notre Dame as they get the ball right back on a fumble. 5 minutes, 55 seconds of playing time remaining. Notre Dame leading 20-0. 4 times the ball has been lost on a fumble. 2 flankers to the left, 2 setbacks. Here's Theismann rolling out to the left. He's going to run with the football. He's at the 30, and he's brought down on the 31-yard line. Theismann getting 4 yards on the play. It will be second down and 8, and Mike Glad is the man who made the tackle along with Shiver, the middle backer of Georgia Tech. So mark that ball on the 31.5-yard line. Notre Dame leading 20-0, 5.5 minutes of playing time remaining in the third quarter. Oriard, the center, he has on a clean jersey. Theismann in the I formation with 2 flankers to the right, and he gives it off to the fullback, going straight ahead and moving it up to about the 35-yard line. And the middle of that Georgia Tech line again with Seaman and Gardner making the tackle. And let's see where they mark the ball. They'll place it around the neighborhood of the 34-yard line. That was Dushney on the carry. Now Seymour, the only flanker, now to the right. It's a straight T formation. And the ball is taken by Theismann. He gives it back to O'Brien. O'Brien is at the 40-yard line and is brought down there. It's a first down for Notre Dame on the 40-yard line.
4 minutes and 33 seconds left here in this third period. And to give you a pretty good idea of how much of a quagmire there is in the middle of that field, between the 2 hash marks, you see most of the grass worn away. It's slippery. It's very difficult to handle a football.
First and 10 from the Notre Dame 40-yard line. Theismann on the give again to the fullback, trying the left side of the line, and he gets across to about the 43-yard line. And Gladieux, running from the fullback spot that time, is brought down as he reached the 43-yard line. Notre Dame going back in the huddle again. Second down, 7 yards to go. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Notre Dame with an unbalanced line to the right in the T formation. And here's the keeper play, and Theismann breaks a tackle, cuts back, and is dropped on the 49-yard line. Joe Theismann, good blocking to get him free, and he was tripped up on the 49-yard line. So that means it'll be third down and just about a yard to go for Notre Dame. Theismann, in 14 carries today, has gained 45 yards. Here's that unbalanced line again for Notre Dame. Theismann on a give to Dushney. He's to the 48-yard line, and it should be a first down. First down for Notre Dame. Dushney cracking over the middle, and that's a total of 20 first downs for Notre Dame today. Van Patrick along with Al Wester and Bill Etherton from Notre Dame Stadium. Now Notre Dame strong to the left in that T formation again. They're running the T with an unbalanced line, and here's a pitch back to Gladieux. Gladieux following his blockers. He's at the 45. He's down to the 42-yard line and brought down there. In there was Van Dora, the junior defensive back, along with Fate, to make the tackle for Georgia Tech. So mark the ball on the 42-yard line. A gain on the play of about 7. It'll be second down and 3 to go. Weingardner over on that right side. And it's the unbalanced line again. And here is the give to Coley O'Brien. O'Brien running off right guard. Goes to the 38-yard line of Georgia Tech.
Van, with 71 yards now that he's acquired so far today, Bobby Gladieux has topped 1,000 yards for the season.
Theismann calling now. He's got Gladieux in the slot to the right. Here's the pitch back to O'Brien. He's going to throw. He throws, and it's to Seymour, and Seymour's got it. He's down on the 11-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds. O'Brien, who is a quarterback, was a quarterback until this year when they made a running back out of him. But there's a discussion back here on the 35-yard line, and it's going to be whistled back. And that nullifies a great play by Notre Dame as Theismann pitched to Coley O'Brien, and O'Brien hit Seymour, who made a fine catch. So they have whistled the ball back. And a big discussion going on here. Offsetting penalties. Notre Dame had an illegal receiver downfield, and Georgia Tech was guilty on the play, so the penalties offset each other. Theismann going back. He throws incomplete. Incomplete. So now they have it 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line of Georgia Tech. Theismann has 4 of 11 for 64 yards and 1 interception. He hasn't thrown much, only 11 passes today. 20-0 now, the score in favor of Notre Dame. And here's Theismann going back to throw. He throws a sideline pattern complete to Seymour, and Seymour grabs it on the 29-yard line and goes out of bounds immediately. That'll leave him shy of the first down on the 29 by a yard. So that'll make it 3rd down and just about a yard to go. Theismann does a magnificent job of faking with the ball. Line up strong to the left, although they're operating with a balanced line, and the give is to Dushney. Dives over the middle, and he gets it down to the 26-yard line and has a first down for Notre Dame.
Tell you about this. This feller made such a beautiful dive. He'd have won a gold medal, I believe, in the Olympics on that one. He went over beautifully, and he just dived over the pile up there. He made the dive for a good 5 yards.
15 carries for Dushney. He has 75 yards. Well, there was a mix-up in that backfield again for Notre Dame, but they wind up moving the ball from the 26 down to the 21. That slippery football, and Notre Dame hanging on there. Theismann, the quarterback, holding on to the ball. He tried to hand it off. It was fumbled in midair, and he grabbed it off himself. And Theismann on a give to Dushney. He's at the 15. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 7-yard line. It's a first down for Notre Dame, and the Irish are beginning to move again.
Dushney now is beginning to show well. He has the last 5 games, as a matter of fact. This fella is the 2nd leading ground gainer on the football team with better than a 5-yard average.
O'Brien and Seymour are wide to the left. The I formation. Top of the I is Gladieux. Dushney right behind the quarterback, Theismann. And the ball is to Gladieux, and Gladieux is hit at the 5. Gang tackled right there. And Seaman and Gardner and Flowers and Shiver and Hardwick all in there to make the stop. And the ball is down on the 5-yard line, and there's the gun. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: Notre Dame 20, Georgia Tech nothing. And that big tight end, Weingartner's on the right side. They got the unbalanced line, and the give is to Gladieux, and Gladieux is down to about the 3.5-yard line and is tackled right there. On about the 3.5. From the secondary, coming up to make the stop there was Wysong, number 37. Let's call the ball on the 4-yard line, make it 3rd down and goal to go for Notre Dame. And they are strong to the left side this time with the T formation unbalanced line. Theismann on the keeper, touchdown Notre Dame. He went wide to the left and nobody touched him. He just fooled the Georgia Tech defense completely. They went 73 yards in 16 plays.
Van, I've got to say that this is the 2nd time the little guy's done this. He did it last week. With the keeper off to the left, bootlegging it, nobody there. All of the play action was to the right, the strong side of the unbalanced line. Suddenly Joe Theismann, the little quarterback, just streaks out to the left, touchdown.
Hempel is in to attempt the extra point. The ball is spotted, the kick is up. The kick is good. So the score now is Notre Dame 27, Georgia Tech nothing. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment. All right, here's the kick. And Hempel is kicking off this time, and Wallace takes it on the 14. He comes back to the 20, 25. He gets to the 27-yard line, and he is brought down right there, and Kelly is the man who made the tackle for Notre Dame. And the quarterback now, number 12, is Jack Williams, and he throws. It's completed. Completed on the 38-yard line to Bobby Barr, and Barr gets the ball to the 40. It'll be a first down for Georgia Tech. On the 40-yard line, first down and 10 to go now for Georgia Tech from their own 40-yard line. That's the final score, so the Wolverines roll along. They won their 8th straight today. They'll battle Ohio State next week for the Big Ten Championship and the Rose Bowl. And here is the pass thrown by Williams again. Out in the right flat, it's completed to Sias, and the flag is down. A personal foul is called. Making the tackle over there was Tim Kelly. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. A personal foul against Notre Dame, and that's 77 yards in penalties to 49, Georgia Tech.
That's the second 15-yarder for personal reasons that Kelly's got this afternoon.
First down on the 38-yard line of Notre Dame. And here's the give now to Harkey. Harkey off left guard to the 35-yard line, getting about 3 on the play, and Lauk made the tackle for Notre Dame. Coming in now is Chapman, and going out is Woodall. Illinois leading Northwestern. Jim Person is back in there at quarterback for Georgia Tech, and he's got 2 flankers. He's going back to throw. He's looking, throws, and it is incomplete. Into the hands and out of the hands of number 24, Larry Schumacher of Notre Dame. So it'll be third down and 7 yards to go now for the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. Woodall is flanked out to the right. Sias is split out to the left. And a slot back this time, and back goes Person. He throws, and it is caught. It is caught right on the 23-yard line by Stevenson, the tight end. The tackle made immediately on the 23. First down now for Georgia Tech, as they have the ball on the 23-yard line of Notre Dame. They got a new football in there. Notre Dame leading 27-0. Woodall is split out to the left, and back goes Person to throw. He throws over the middle. It is caught by that tight end again on the 16-yard line, Stevenson. You know, Purdue had great success against Notre Dame throwing all day to the tight end, and now Georgia Tech is beginning to utilize the tight end.
Well, you've got to have a good man to start with, and they tell me that Stevenson and Sias are the 2 best receivers on this football team.
2 setbacks. It's second down and about 2 to go, and Person back to throw, fumbles the ball, and Georgia Tech loses the football. It is picked up there by Notre Dame. That was Bob Olson in there to recover the fumble. Freeberry hit him and jarred him loose from the ball, but the whistle, let's see what happens here, may have blown, and they place the ball on the 15, and Georgia Tech still has the ball. They call it an incomplete pass, and that's the reason for all the booing. Person calling the signals. He's got 2 setbacks, 2 flankers. He's back to throw. He looks, he throws. It is completed at the 10-yard line, down to the 5. Goes Harkey, touchdown, Georgia Tech. Harkey is the man who took it over. So 73 yards and 7 plays with the aid of a long penalty, and Georgia Tech is on the scoreboard at South Bend. Duncan is usually the kicker, so let's see what happens here. Chapman is also out there. They're going to go for 2 with the 2 flankers and 2 setbacks. And Person is going back to throw. He's rolling out to right. He throws into the end zone. It is caught out of bounds. Caught out of bounds, and Georgia Tech is unhappy about it. Stevenson, the tight end. So the score now is Notre Dame 27, Georgia Tech 6. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment.
In 1968, Irish quarterback Terry Hanratty accomplished an almost impossible feat. He completely finished surpassing the all-time offensive record set by the legendary George Gipp.
Here's the boot by Duncan. O'Brien at the 7. He's back to the 10, 15. He goes to the 20. He's at the 25. He's at the 30. He's at the 35. He's at the 40. He's at the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. He's down to the 15. He's down to the 10. And he is blocked out of bounds on the 9-yard line of Georgia Tech.
84 yards on the run back.
And so Notre Dame comes right back. Seymour's flanked out wide to the right. The T formation now with the unbalanced line to the right, and Theismann on the keeper. He's going to be hit right at the 10. He lost about a half a yard on the play. So it'll be second down coming up at 10. Well, looks like Ohio State and Michigan are going to battle for the Big Ten crown. It looks like in the Southeastern Conference, Georgia will be the champion. Here's the T formation again. And Theismann on the bootleg. The keeper, he's running around the left side, cuts back at the 5, and he's hit at the 4 and shoved back. Joe Theismann bootlegging that ball to the left. Flowers in there to make the tackle along with Gardner. And let's see where they're going to mark it. It'll be around the neighborhood of the 5-yard line. Notre Dame has 258 yards rushing. They have 73 yards passing today. They lead 27-6. Seymour is flanked out to the right. And Dushney's a setback right behind the quarterback. And here's Theismann rolling out the right, looking for a receiver. He's ducking around out there, and he tries to throw the ball, and it's picked up here by Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame and Georgia Tech scrambling for it. And Georgia Tech has got the football. And that is number 37, Wysong, who came up with the ball. And Foster is the man that hit him. But here is a discussion now with the officials. And it's a holding penalty against Georgia Tech. Holding against Georgia Tech. Well, you heard the crowd roar. Holding against Georgia Tech, and that's a break for Notre Dame because the Irish had lost the ball. And they have the balanced line this time, and the give is to Gladieux. Touchdown, Notre Dame. 33-6, Notre Dame leading. They move 9 yards and 3 carries. Hempel is in to attempt the extra point. Hotzapfel is in to center. Holding the ball would be Joe Theismann. Notre Dame leading 33-6. We have 10 minutes, 27 seconds of playing time remaining in the ball game. Hotzapfel over the ball. Spotted, booted by Hempel, right through the uprights. So the score is Notre Dame 34, Georgia Tech 6. We'll be back with the Notre Dame kickoff in just a moment. And here is the boot. High end over end kick. It's coming down to about the 12. Wallace is back to the 15. He goes to the 20, the 25. It comes on up to the 29-yard line, and there he is brought down. The quarterback now for Georgia Tech, the youngster who started, Jim Person. He's going back to throw. Cocks his arm, throws a sideline pass completed out there to Bounds. Bounds at the 35 and fights his way on up to about the 38-yard line, a yard short of a first down. Tackle made by Jay Standring of Notre Dame. It'll be second down and a yard to go now for the Engineers of Georgia Tech. They go back in the huddle again. Kenny Bounds is 6'3", 196-pound junior. Sias is wide to the left. It's getting very dark again now at South Bend at Notre Dame Stadium. And back goes Persons again. Persons looking. He fumbles the ball, and there's a wild scramble for it. Let's see who got it. Down on the 19. They're still fighting for the football. And finally, on the 15-yard line, it is covered. So, Buck Jersey, get the glasses, and it's Kenny Bounds who covered the ball for Georgia Tech back on the 15. And that was an elusive pigskin.
Ben, that ball is down on the 15-yard line. It started about the 37. So when you start subtracting, the man just did it for us. 23 yards he lost on that pigskin, and that football was touched by about at least a half a dozen men.
Back on the 15-yard line, third down, 24 yards to go, and back goes Person to throw. He throws over the middle to Bounds, and Bounds was not looking. He was open, but he was just not looking on the play. That stops the clock. It's fourth down, 24 yards to go. 8 minutes, 50 seconds of playing time remaining here at South Bend, Indiana. Number 11, Don Reed from Flint, Michigan, is going back in safety. Back in kick formation is Chapman. And Chapman gets his kick away, and he booms it deep again. And it's rolling around at the 40, down to the 35, down to the 32.5-yard line. Belden, the quarterback, he's got Landolfi back there with him, and he keeps the ball, breaks up to the 40-yard line with it, and is brought down on the 42-yard line. Belden in there at quarterback. He is a senior from Canton, Ohio. And he brought it up to the 42-yard line. So it'll be second down, about a half a yard to go. Notre Dame leading 34-6. We've got 8 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the ball game at South Bend. Landolfi is a setback, and the give is to the fullback. Is that Ziegler in there? It is. Ed Ziegler is in there, and Ziegler's to the 42. And let's see whether they're able to pick up the first down or not. He did not gain any yardage. He was stopped in there by Hardwick and Glad. And so the ball is still shy of the 42 by just about 6 inches. The I formation along with Trinity. They give to the fullback, carrying straight up the middle, and he gets to about the 43. So maybe he's got the first down as they're stacked up in there by the middle of that Georgia Tech line again. And wait for them to peel off, and we can get whether he picked up the first down or not. And they're going to bring the chain out. They send Trinity out wide to the right. Tom Eaton goes to the left. Landolfi and Ziegler, and here is Belden on a give to Ziegler. Ziegler is to the 49-yard line, and it's brought down there. You got about 6 on the play. It'll be second down and 4 to go for Notre Dame. Eaton is flanked out to the right, and Belden on a give this time to Ziegler again, and he's to the 46-yard line with it and has a first down. He picked up 5 on that. It's a first down now for Notre Dame. Holtzapfel is in there at the tight end. Eaton is flanked out to the right. Landolfi is split to the left. It's the I formation. And the give is to Ziegler. And Ziegler goes to the 43-yard line with it. And Kramer makes the tackle, and a flag is down. A flag on the play. Ziegler was hit after he was already stretched out on the turf. It'll cost Georgia Tech 15 yards. Ray Fisher is in there. So mark the ball down on the 28-yard line of Georgia Tech and make it first down and 10 to go. So they're placing the ball on the 28-yard line. Evidently, the good father blessed the pen. It's writing now, Al. There's a flag down again. Flag again as Notre Dame on the carry, up the middle, and running with the football that time for Notre Dame. We got a new man in here now, number 23, and he is not listed on the Notre Dame roster. Era has snuck one in on us, Al.
Illegal procedure called against Notre Dame.
Number 23, Ness, is in there. Here is flags. Here are flags down all over the field as the give was to Crenity. Frank Crenity on the carry, but flags are down. And let's go down now and check up on young Mr. Ness from Bill.
All right, number 23, whom you mentioned a moment ago, is Dan O'Connor, a senior from Chicago, Illinois.
And the penalty is against Notre Dame. Moves the ball back to the 37-yard line. And here's Belden going back to throw. He's being rushed now, and he throws a little swing pass out in the left flat. It's completed on the 40-yard line. Down to the 45 goes Landolfi. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 15. He's finally knocked out of bounds. Down on the 12-yard line. Landolfi, hard running back of Notre Dame. Finally knocked out of bounds down around the neighborhood of the 12 to the 13. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. 26 yards gained on the play. So they have now moved the ball down to the 13-yard line. So Notre Dame with a first down on the 13-yard line of Georgia Tech. Belden calling the signals. Belden on the keeper, running off right guard, gets down to the 10 and is tackled on the 10-yard line by Flowers and Seaman. Very dark here at Notre Dame right now. We've almost got a night game. And the ball is spotted right on the 10, a gain of 3 on the play. Second down, 7 yards to go for Notre Dame. And here's Belden on a pitch back to Landolfi. Landolfi gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. He was sweeping out around the right end, and he got it back to the line of scrimmage and is tackled right on the 10. So that'll move it out now from the sideline, place it at the hash mark, and on the 10-yard line of Georgia Tech. No gain on the play. So it'll be third down coming up and 7 yards to go for Notre Dame. In the slot is Crenity to the right. The setback is Zimmerman, the fullback, Ziegler rather, the fullback. And Belden back to throw. Throws, and it's incomplete. And a flag is down into the end zone and incomplete. That was a third down and 7. The indication is the penalty will be against Notre Dame. And let's see if Georgia Tech declines, because that will bring up the fourth down. Georgia Tech elects to have the penalty stepped off, holding against Notre Dame. Crenity and Ziegler, the setbacks for Notre Dame. Balance line, and back goes Belden to throw. He looks, runs now with the ball, is down to the 20, down to the 19, and dropped on the 19-yard line as the receivers were covered. In the third period, Ohio State 26, Iowa 6. And Georgia 17, Auburn 3. We've got a night game at South Bend right now.
Then I see Ray Fisher is in there at an offensive guard now for the Irish. Getting a lot of new names in there that haven't played any football this year.
Back goes Belden. He throws one, and it is caught down around the neighborhood of the 8-yard line. Let's see where they're going to mark it. It's caught down around the 8. Hartzell is the man who caught it, but it was 4th down for Notre Dame, and Georgia Tech will take over. So Georgia Tech will take over now, down on their own 8-yard line with 1st down and 10 to go. 4 minutes and 16 seconds of playing time remaining. They send DeFlanker to the left. Woodall goes out to the right. Sias to the left. And the fullback bounds on the carry, trying the middle of the Notre Dame line, and he gets just about 2 yards, getting it up to the 11-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down coming up and 8 yards to go for Georgia Tech. Whitliff in there defensively. And here's the keeper play with a quarterback. Person on the carry, gets it back to about the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Brought down right there. Wright was in on the tackle. Also hitting him in there for Notre Dame was Scott Hempel, who was in there. Backfield in motion, illegal procedure has been declined. The pro set with Person calling the signals. Person on the keeper. And Person now, he hands it off to Bounds, the fullback, and Bounds off right tackle, gets it up to about the 21-yard line, and has a 1st down for Georgia Tech. And let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Weaver was running with the ball. John Weaver, who's just gone in there, and to give to Weaver again. Comes up to the 26-yard line with it, where it'll be 2nd down for Georgia Tech. Weaver on a 5-yard carry. 2nd and 5. Swearington is coming in now for Notre Dame. Here's a pass thrown over the middle by Person. It's completed at the 35 and on to the 39-yard line with it. Goes Georgia Tech. And that was Stevenson, the tight end. Woodall is flanked out to the right. Sias is split out to the left for Georgia Tech. Person is the quarterback. He gives it to Weaver. Weaver is to the 41-yard line and is brought down there. On the 41 of Georgia Tech. Now coming in for Notre Dame, number 44 is Malone, a defensive end. Sias is split out wide to the right. Chapman is in and flanked to the left. And back goes Person to throw. He looks. He's being knocked down. Back on the 31-yard line by Notre Dame. And in there was Malone, who just went in. Also in there for Notre Dame was Jockish making the tackle. Wide to the left now comes Woodall again. And we got a new quarterback in here. Williams is back in there at quarterback. And he throws one deep, incomplete. Intended for Sias and down around the neighborhood of the Notre Dame 40-yard line. We've got 1 minute and 11 seconds to go. So Georgia Tech now with a 4th down coming up. And about 18 yards to go. Malone is going back now in the safety spot for Notre Dame. Chapman gets his kick away. And we'll have to wait for the ball to bounce to see it. Notre Dame lets it roll. It rolls down to the 26. There's a timeout on the field with a score. Notre Dame 34, Georgia Tech 6. Belden is the quarterback. Ziegler and Crenidian. The give is to Ziegler. And he moves up to about the 27-yard line with it. And is brought down. Notre Dame back in the huddle. The clock moving. We have 45 seconds of playing time remaining. Buches is in there now offensively for Notre Dame. And a give now to Ziegler again. Ziegler's to the 32-yard line and brought down there by Flowers as he reaches the 32. The clock is moving. And here is a timeout called by Notre Dame. Gardner is in at quarterback now, and he hands off to Ziegler, who gains just about a yard. We've got 9 seconds of playing time remaining. Notre Dame leading. You can hear them counting off the seconds. They'll never get another play underway, I don't believe. Although they have been brought up the line of scrimmage. And the give off there to the halfback, but the gun goes off and the ball game is over, and Notre Dame has defeated Georgia Tech 34-6. In just a moment, we'll present the wrap-up of today's game.